Well, welcome back to the plot, everyone. It's the 3rd of July, Sunday the 3rd of July. So I'm going to give you a quick tour because there's been a lot going on. So I'll give you a quick tour around the plot, show you what's been happening, and I'll show you what else we're going to be doing this afternoon. So bear with me and I'll spin the camera around. Okay, for a change, I thought we'd start at the top of the plot this week. Just show you what's been going on. So this is the oca, which is a South American potato. You can see this one's growing quite well now. The stem's actually as thick as my finger. So I've got this one here, I've got one there, and I've got this little one here, which was didn't think this one was going to come out eventually, but it eventually has. So these were given to me by one of my colleagues at work. His wife is from South America, she's from Peru, I think. So she gave us these, told us just plant them, forget about them, then when the foliage dies down in the winter, that's the time to dig them out. So apparently they're good tasting, so we'll, fingers crossed, we get something decent out of these for a nice winter crop. In this edge here I've got some sweet peas and some mixed flowers. You can just see the sweet peas coming there. Put these in the ground a bit late, so we'll need to see what's happening. They're not nearly as good as my neighbour's sweet peas. That's a fabulous display there. So I'm hoping mine's come up half as good as that. I'll be happy. So we'll see what happens. Other things in this bed is I've got a sunflower. But if you have a look at the top, you can see that some slug has managed to climb all the way to the top. I say a slug, it could have been a snail. It's managed to get all the way to the top and chew the chopped leaves off. So yeah, not perfect, but we've got plenty of sunflowers dotted around on most of the beds. So we'll see if we get something off the other ones. Coming over here, I found this sign. It was flag tipped at the end of my street. So it was there for a few days, and so I thought, well, no one wants it, I'll have it and I can make good use of it. It's some sort of plastic, so sort of like corrugated plastic, so it should last for years in there. This is where my squashes are grown this year. As you can see, there's a bit of slug damage in here, so I've tried with some blue pellets. This one here, you can see the silver trail still on it. So I'm hoping the blue pellets, which I know these are, some of the pellets are banned now, but these are organic make that I've got, and it's the last of a tin I've got, so the last of a tub I've got, so I thought I'd use them. Other thing I'm going to try doing is I've got a big bag of coffee grounds. So these are the fresh coffee that's ground up and used in restaurants and things. So after they've been used, they're all bagged and they're disposed of. But I shall be trying to put a layer of coffee grounds all over the top of here to see if that deters the slugs. As you can see, there's a few flowers on, looks like coming on this one. There's a mixture of red curry here and butternut squash, so we'll see what happens. This bed, not a lot's happening in this bed. I don't think I'll be using this bed this year. I know it looks just looks like junk, but that will soon get moved. Sweet corn, I'll show you, talk about that in a minute. These are all my potatoes. These ones here are, what are they? These are Sarpo Mira. So these are more light resistant potatoes. I'm just taking off all these flowers. Hopefully by taking off the flowers, the plant will put all its energy into the tubers instead of making flowers. Don't know what that is. But these are Sarpo Mira. These are a blight resistant potato. Doesn't mean they won't get blight, but it just means they're more tolerant to blight. Of course, this area was all brambles and nettles last year. So we've dug all this out and it's doing really well. It's given us a whole new part of the plot to work with. From this orange pot onwards to the right, these are all Cara, which is a main crop potato. Flower heads again, just picking these off and dumping them, as I don't want the plant spending any energy making flowers or fruits, because what happens is you get the flowers, they get pollinated, then you get these little like tomatoes fruits, which are really poisonous. So I'm just taking off any flower heads that I see. This area has all been cleared of weeds, and I'm using it to store stuff that I probably will come back to use. I've got stuff like this. There's what my previous little greenhouse was on the base of that. I've got some paving slabs that I'm going to use. There's a bag of weeds that I've dug out of here. These are bags of compost that my second delis were growing in, so I've keeping them because I'm going to recharge the compost with some bloodfish and bone and reuse it again next year. Still got a bit of carpet left to dig. Can you believe that? There's still carpet here to dig up. So that's the last bit of carpet that I think I'm going. Sorry, that's the second last bit of carpet, because there's a bit there as well. So that's the carpet. This is a new bed that we just created about 2 or 3 weeks ago. At the far end I've got some spinach in, and I've got a couple of lines of beetroot and a line of carrots and a line of lettuce. So this is an entirely new bed. We dug out all the brambles, all the nettles, and we've created this new bed straight from scratch. So yeah, gives us another place to grow things in, things that we want to keep instead of things we don't want. This is another one of my sunflowers, which is doing better, no slug damage on this one. But these are Borlotti beans and they are doing really well. The previous couple of years I've grown Borlotti beans, I've been so unimpressed with the harvest I've had of them. I wasn't going to grow any this year. Then I decided I'll grow them this year, and if I don't get anything, if I don't get a good harvest, then that was going to be the last year to grow them. So these are doing really well this year, and if you look down there, we have got our first Borlotti bean flower. So once we've got the flowers, it shouldn't be too long before we get the beans. So I'm really pleased. They're doing really well this year. I'm really pleased with how much they've grown. This one here, this is a Blauhilde. These are my purple French climbing beans, and these are my favourite. I grow these every year. I grew them once and I was so amazed by them. I've grown them every year since. I save my own seed and replant it every year. Unfortunately, when we planted these, we got a cold wind for about 2 weeks, and it knocked some of them back. So as you can see, this one was tall, but the wind has decimated it quite a little bit, but it's picked up and it's grown again. So we'll leave it and see what happens. They are grown tall. This one's reached the top of the wigwam. So yeah, fantastic. Over here I've been using this compost. Oops, sorry Mr. Blackbird. I've been using this compost. This is my own compost that I've been made from a lot of the bunny waste, and you can see it's ever digging that, it's all full of worms still. So much life in there. So that's my compost. I also got obligatory bindweed and creeping nettles growing through in it, but this side did have all compost in it, but I've emptied it and refilled it again. And what I'll do is I'll keep topping this up until this one's empty over here. Then I'll start filling this one up again. This is my gas cylinder that I dug out from underneath all the brambles. The previous owner had buried this, so I've got to take that to the tip sometime. This plant here, this is the Himalayan Honeysuckle, and if you look at these beautiful little flowers, Apparently you're supposed to, someone told me that you can eat the berries off these. Now I tried one and it was incredibly bitter, so I didn't bother. But as a plant, it's a beautiful plant. It was here before I got here, I didn't know where it was. But yeah, beautiful. So, where else? Here are the raspberries. These are doing well. As you can see, there are loads of flowers appearing on them. We have had 1 or 2 raspberries, just enough to test them. It's got the obligatory bindweed growing all the way through it, which is a nightmare. But yeah, considering I started off with 6 raspberry canes, this bed's done really well. You get to January, you just cut them all back down to the ground again, and then in the spring they start growing, and this is what you get. And as you can see here, we've got a couple that are almost ready. Still a bit underdone for me at the moment. This is the sweet corn. I'm still building the badger proof cage. I've cleared the area, I'll show you that in a minute. I've cleared the area and I've got all the wood. I just need to assemble it and get the corn in the ground, and that's going to happen this week, I think, to be honest, because I'm almost there. This is my little greenhouse, and I must say I'm really pleased with the way this has performed this year. It's been really it's really great. It's these plants have shot up. These are suckers that I took off the plant, and I'm seeing if I can regrow new plants from suckers. But these are doing really well. And if I look down here, I can see the first Brad's Atomic Grape. Let's just see if I can get that in there. That's the first Brad's Atomic Grape tomato. All the ones on this side are Brad's Atomic Grape. This one here is a Gardener's Delight, which is a little cherry tomato. That's a King of the North bell pepper, capsicum bell pepper, and all these ones on this side are Moneymaker. So this plot here is, I've given it to my friend Delilah to grow things in, because she's been helping me out quite a lot this year, and she's been growing courgettes. Not a big fan of courgettes, but Delilah loves them, so she's been doing well there. Got quite a few courgettes. She's got a few tomato plants which have just been tied up and staked up. We'll allow them to grow a bit wild to start with. They've got a lot of side shoots and that, so hopefully they'll pick up. There've been all the tomatoes and that have been given a feed today, that's why they ground stamp. We have had a lot of rain recently, but we decided to give them a feed of tomato food to keep going. She has a nice line of potatoes there and a nice line of radishes. Oh, she's also got a really nice line of spring onions, which are looking great. So yeah, fantastic. Over on this bed, I've got a couple of lines of potatoes. These were the potatoes that I had left over. I didn't have enough pots to go in, so I just decided to plant them in here, and they're doing okay. We'll soon see what happens when I dig them up. These are the parsnips, which are going good guns now. These are going to be so much easier to get out of the ground this year. These little ones were ones that didn't germinate the first time round, or germinated and died off through dampening. So what I'd done about 2 or 3 weeks ago was I replanted the seeds in some of these ones. You can see the little plants on, and these are all coming back. So we should have plenty of parsnips for the winter. This carrot bed's doing quite well. We have got carrots there because I've been checking them. Let's see if I can spot one and show you. There you go. It's like a jungle in here actually, I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, still a bit small, but we're definitely getting carrot, which is a good sign, and we're getting bindweed again, as we get bindweed everywhere. So I'll just cut and drop that. Let me show you. This is some of the wood I've been painted this morning. This is going to be for the badger cage, which I'll show you where that's going to go. That's my leeks, more about them later. So this is the area that was cleared off for the badger cage. So we're going to erect a cage here. I've got some wire netting at home I'm going to bring up, but really what I want to do is erect the frame of the cage, get the sweet corn in the ground. It's been in those little pots far too long, so I'm going to dig out all these remaining brambles that are coming through and nettles and get the sweet corn in the ground here. There's just junk that needs to be moved. These are the brassicas, so we've got some kale here, but these red cabbages are looking fabulous. These were our winner last year. They were so good I decided I was definitely going to plant them again this year. And we've got another kale there. The kales, Toscana de Nero, which is a black Tuscan, similar to Cavolo de Nero. On this side here we've got more kale, and these are Romanesque cauliflowers. That's been chewed away by slugs. That one there. So I might replace it. I've got a few. I think I've got a few cauliflowers, just normal cauliflowers, back home. So I might pull that out, stick a normal cauliflower there instead. I think that could be a normal cauliflower, although I'm not sure whether it's normal cauliflower or what now. But we'll see what turns up. These, another nice sunflower, no slug damage on this one. But these are the onion bed. This is what I'm going to be digging up this afternoon. So some are done rather well. If you have a look at that, so these were all grown from seed last year, and they're mostly white, which is the Ailsa Craig, and I think the red is Red Baron. There's just a couple of lines of red there. They're mostly white. So they're going to come up next. They're going to come up this afternoon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line of peas in here again to see if I can get a late crop of peas. Because if I go round here, the pea bed, we've been digging up the pea bed. They're all done. We all have a fabulous crop of these, but the plants are all but finished. So what I'm going to do in here, clear all this out and use this bed for my leeks. So the leeks are going back in here again. This is like a spillover area where I've been growing some peppers and tomatoes that haven't made it into the greenhouse. I've just put this plastic, scrap plastic actually, just to give a bit of a windbreak against the cold wind, but still allows some light to get through to the plants. What else we got? We've got the what do you call it again? Rhubarb. Now I thought this was dying back, but it looks like we might be able to take a few of these off to take home tonight. So yeah, some nice rhubarb. These are lettuces, which they were doing really well, but they got a bit of slug damage overnight for some reason. But these are, I can't remember the exact variety, but they're like a romaine lettuce where they grow really, really tall. So the inner heart of that is perfect. The outer leaves are a bit scratty and slug damaged, but the inner heart of that should be fine. These are all year round, I think they're called. Another lettuce, more slug damage, but I might use some of the coffee grounds in here actually, see if I can deter the slugs from coming in here. But it'd be nice if I get a few more lettuces. Haven't had a lot of lettuce this year. This one here, this is a squash that never made it to the squash area. And along here, this is a carrot. This is a little carrot, so I've got little carrot seedlings. I don't know whether you can see that. All along here. So a late line of carrots. And underneath here I've got some beetroots. I've just put this cloth over it to try and protect it, because I think the pigeons were having a little dig at it, so hopefully that'll protect it from the pigeons. But the plot is looking rather well. Almost all of the area is cultivated, and or got plans to be cultivated, and we've got rid of 99% of the brambles really. There is a little bit along the edge here, which is coming from next door. It's difficult to know whether it's coming from next door or just on the border. But whenever I see it, I'll snip it back, just try and keep it in check. Last thing to talk about is here we've got blueberries. We're actually going to try some of these tonight, see what they're like. But yes, some nice blueberries. Well, that's a quick plot tour here for the start of July. I'm going to put the camera down now and get on with digging up the onions, get them dug up. And what I'm going to do is add a layer of alpaca manure and some bloodfish and bone. I'm going to sort of use the hand tiller to get all that into the ground. Then during the week I'll come up and I'll sow a line of peas, and we'll start sowing a bit more salad, maybe more carrots, things like that, swedes, turnips, things that might be ready for the winter time. So that's the plans for now. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, but that's it for now. Bye for now.